How did one comfort night at my ex's place turn into papers being handed to me in public? Why did my husband stay calm, say almost nothing, and still remove me from our home in one legal move? My name is Miriam Rooth. I was 34 then, and I worked as a marketing coordinator for a home services company. I liked my job because it gave me a reason to leave the house and a reason to be busy. I told people I was building my career, but I also liked the space. Space felt like power. My husband's name was Grant Halloway. He was 36. He worked in IT at a hospital system. People said he was steady and kind. I used to say that too, but I said it in a flat way, like I was reading a label. I did not like how steady he was. Steady meant I could not move him when I wanted. I wanted him to react. I wanted him to prove he cared in a loud way. That week started with a small thing in our kitchen. It was early. The light over the sink made everything look pale. Grant was making coffee. I was scrolling on my phone with one hand and pushing my hair back with the other. Grant asked why my phone kept buzzing so much. I said it was work and it was normal. He looked at me like he was waiting for the rest, like there was always more that I was not saying. That look bothered me more than a question. He asked if something was wrong at work. I said no, but I said it too fast. He nodded once. He did not push. That was his style. He did not shout. He did not slam doors. He just watched. I told myself that his calm was a trick. I told myself he wanted me to feel guilty without saying it. I decided that if he did not accuse me, then he was still accusing me. That made sense in my head at the time. Grant asked why I turned my phone face down on the counter. I said I did not even notice I did it. I said he was paying too much attention to small things. He asked if I was angry at him. I said I was tired. I added that I was tired of being questioned like a child. He said he was not trying to question me. He said he just missed me. He asked if we could have dinner together that night, just us. I said I had a late meeting, and then I had to check in with my sister Tessa. I did not have a meeting. I did not like how his face softened when he asked. I did not want to reward it. I wanted control. When I left for work, I felt my phone vibrate again. I did not open the message. I liked that I had something waiting. I liked the feeling of someone wanting my attention. At the office, the open plan space was loud, even when people whispered. Everyone knew something about everyone. That was normal. It made me feel important because I always had a story ready. Paula Chen, my coworker friend, asked if I wanted coffee. I said yes, and I started talking before she even sat down. I said Grant was being weird lately. I said he was acting like I did something wrong when I did not. I said he got tense when I went out after work. Paula asked if Grant had a reason to be tense. She said it in a careful way. I laughed like it was funny. I said he was just insecure. I said some men could not handle a woman with options. I watched Paula's face, and I could tell she did not like that line, but she did not fight me. At lunch, I went to a co-working cafe near our building. I did not need to go there. I liked the feeling of being out, like my day belonged to me. I found a table by the window. I ordered tea and opened my laptop. I barely typed. That was when I saw Nolan Pierce. Nolan was my ex. He was 35 and he did photography jobs. He had that relaxed look that made him seem like he was never trapped. He walked in like he belonged there. He saw me and smiled like he had been waiting. He asked how I had been. I said I had been busy and stressed. He asked if I was still married. I said yes, but I made my face look tired, like marriage was heavy. He asked if I was okay. I said Grant did not understand me. I said he wanted everything simple and clean, like life could be fixed with a checklist. Nolan nodded like that was deep. He said he was sorry I felt alone. He asked if I wanted to talk sometime, as friends. I said that sounded safe. I said I missed having someone who got me. I made it sound innocent, but I knew what I was doing. I liked the way he focused on me. I liked that he did not ask me to be better. He only asked me to be honest about my feelings. which is easy when you only tell the feelings that help you. When I left, Nolan walked with me to the door. He asked if I wanted him to text me. I said yes and told myself it was normal. I told myself it was not cheating to want comfort. In my mind, comfort was a basic need, like sleep. On the way back to my office, my phone buzzed again. It was a message preview from Nolan. He said he was glad he saw me and that I deserved peace. I did not reply right away. I wanted to stretch the moment out. That afternoon, Grant sent a simple message. He asked if I could come home on time because Sophie wanted to show me a drawing. Sophie was our daughter. She was 7. She always wanted both of us in the same room. She did not ask for much. That should have mattered more. I replied that I would try. I added a small sad emoji to make it look gentle. I liked using soft symbols while I did hard things. After work, I sat in my car for a minute before driving. I opened my settings and looked at location sharing. It was on. Grant and I had turned it on a long time ago for safety. I used to call it trust. Now I called it proof. If my location was on, then nobody could say I was hiding. I told myself that if I ever needed to stay somewhere else for a night, the location would show it, and that would make me look honest. I did not think about what it would do to Grant. I thought about how it would protect my story. When I got home, the kitchen smelled like pasta sauce. Sophie ran to me and held up a paper with bright marker lines. She asked if I liked it. I said I loved it. Grant stood behind her, quiet, watching me watch her. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible stories. Grant asked if I could sit for dinner. I said I needed to answer emails first. He asked if my work was that urgent. I said it was, and I said he would not understand because his job was stable. That was unfair, but I said it anyway. I liked the feeling of pushing him down a little. Later, I came back into the kitchen and noticed something small. 2 mugs were on the counter, but not close together. One was by the sink. One was by the far edge, like a line in the middle. It was stupid, but it made me feel like he was already pulling away. Grant's phone lit up on the table for a second. I saw a calendar reminder. It said, "Meeting, personal, with a time in the morning." He picked up his phone quickly and turned it over. I asked what that was. He said it was just an appointment. I asked what kind. He said it was personal. I told him that sounded secret. He asked why everything had to be a fight. I said he started it by hiding things. He asked if I wanted to talk about Nolan. I froze just for a beat. Then I smiled like it was nothing. I asked why he was bringing Nolan up. He said he heard Nolan's name when I was in the other room. I said I was talking about an old memory. I said it was normal to remember people from the past. Grant asked if I was unhappy. I said I was unhappy with the way he watched me. I said he treated me like a suspect. He said he did not want to treat me like that. He said he just wanted the truth. I told him the truth was that I needed space. I said that like it was a reasonable request, like he was supposed to clap for it. He nodded again, slow and controlled. He did not beg. He did not shout. He only looked tired. That night, when the house went quiet, I held my phone in the dark and opened Nolan's chat. I stared at his last message and felt my chest loosen. I told myself I deserved comfort. I told myself Grant had pushed me here with his questions. Then my map app opened by accident, and Nolan Street popped up from the earlier search. I stared at the pin like it was a door. I did not close it. I let it sit there on my screen while I listened to Grant's steady breathing down the hall. The next day, I went to work with a plan in my head. I told myself I would control the story before Grant could. I did not even know what story he had, but I assumed he would try to make me look bad. I thought that was what people did. I did it all the time. In the office, I walked in like nothing was wrong. I smiled at the receptionist. I waved at people I barely liked. I wanted to look bright. Bright meant innocent. Paula asked if I was okay. I said I was fine, but I added that Grant had been on me again. I watched her eyes. I wanted her to lean in. When she did, I felt a small win. I told Paula that Grant was acting controlling. I said he kept asking where I was and who I was with. I did not say that he asked in a calm voice. I did not say he only asked once. I made it sound like he asked 10 times and waited by the door. Paula asked if we still had location sharing on. I said yes. I said I had nothing to hide. I said that was why it felt unfair. I said it felt like he wanted power over me. I did not say that I liked using the location sharing as a shield. I did not say that I liked the game of it. Later, I went to the break room and checked my phone. Nolan had sent another message. He asked if I slept okay. I said yes. I asked how his morning was. I kept it light. Light felt safe. Kieran Baines walked past me near the printer. He asked how my day was going. I said it was busy. He said I looked tired. I said I had home stress. He asked if I wanted to grab lunch later. I said maybe. I liked the attention. It was simple. It did not ask me to be better. At my desk, I opened a group chat with my friends. It was mostly women from our social circle, plus Mark Ellison and 2 other guys who always laughed at everything. I typed that I needed a drink soon. Tessa replied fast and asked what happened. I wrote that Grant was tracking me again. That was not true, not the way I said it. The app showed location, but I acted like it was a leash. Tessa said Grant sounded toxic. Mark sent a laughing emoji and asked if Grant was my dad. I wrote that Grant wanted me home, on schedule. I wrote that I could not breathe. I did not mention that Sophie wanted to show me a drawing. I did not mention that Grant asked for dinner. Paula walked by and saw my screen for a second. She did not say anything, but her mouth tightened. I pretended not to notice. I told myself she was judging me because she did not understand marriage. That was easier than thinking I was wrong. Around midday, Grant called me. I let it ring twice before I answered. He asked if I could talk. I said I was at work and busy. He asked if I was coming home on time. I said I would try, but I made my voice cold. He asked if Sophie could call me for a minute. I said yes, but I sighed first so Grant would hear it. Sophie asked if I could come to her school show next week. I said yes, of course. Grant got back on the call and asked if we could plan the week together. I said he was being intense. He asked what I meant. I said I felt managed. He went quiet for a moment, then asked if I wanted to turn location sharing off if it felt bad. I said no. I said it would look suspicious if I turned it off now. I said he should trust me and stop asking questions. After I ended the call, I felt irritated because he did not fight. Part of me wanted him to accuse me. If he accused me, I could cry and say he was abusive. If he stayed calm, then I looked like the problem. In the afternoon, I posted a story online. It was just a photo of a teacup and my laptop. I wrote a small line about choosing peace. I knew people would read between the lines. I wanted them to imagine a villain. I wanted them to imagine Grant. Messages came in. One friend asked if I was okay at home. Another said men hated strong women. I replied with hearts. I did not correct them. I let them build my shield for me. That evening, Tessa picked me up, and we went to a rooftop bar. The place was loud and bright. The city lights made everything look like a movie. I liked that. Movies always have clear heroes and villains. Mark was there with a small group. Paula was not there. I noticed, and it annoyed me. I wanted all eyes on me. Tessa asked what I wanted to drink. I said something sweet. I wanted to feel light. I wanted to float above consequences. We sat, and I started telling my story before anyone asked. I said Grant had become controlling. I said he watched my phone. I said he asked for my passwords. That last part was not true. He never asked. But I said it anyway because it made my friends react in the way I wanted. Mark asked if Grant was trying to trap me. I said yes, in a way. I said he wanted me small. I said he wanted me quiet. Tessa nodded like she was in a courtroom. I felt supported. I felt powerful. Someone asked if I was still sharing location with Grant. I said yes, because I was not hiding. I said it was for safety, but I said it with a tone like it was his idea. I made it sound like he forced me. That was another lie, but it fit my story. Later, Grant came to pick me up, like we had planned. He did not want me taking a ride with strangers late. I used to call that care. Now I called it control, depending on who was listening. When he walked into the bar area, I felt the room shift. People looked at him like he was the problem already. That was what I wanted. He was neat and calm. He did not look angry. That made me angry. Mark waved him over and asked if he was Miriam's security guard. I laughed. I wanted Grant to feel small. Grant asked what that meant. I said it was just a joke and he should relax. Grant asked if I was ready to go. I said not yet. Tessa asked Grant why he was rushing me. Grant said he was not rushing, and he said he just wanted to get Sophie to bed on time. I rolled my eyes, and I made sure people saw it. In the car, Grant asked if I had a good time. I said the bar was fine, but I said it would be better if he did not act jealous. He asked why I thought he was jealous. I said he showed up like he was checking on me. He said he showed up because I asked him to. I said he was twisting it. Grant asked if I was seeing Nolan again. My stomach tightened, but my face stayed smooth. I asked why he was bringing Nolan up. Grant said he heard the name again when I took a call in the kitchen. I said it was nothing. I said Nolan was an old friend and Grant needed to stop living in fear. Grant asked if I would be willing to talk with him calmly the next day, just the two of us. I said we could talk if he promised not to accuse me. He said he had not accused me. I said he did it with his tone. He went quiet again. When we got home, I saw a missed call on Grant's phone screen. It had no caller ID. He swiped it away fast. I asked who it was. He said it was probably spam. He said it did not matter. I told myself it mattered. I told myself he was hiding something too, and that made my choices feel lighter. I went to bed with my phone in my hand. Nolan's name sat at the top of my messages, like a door I could open. I told myself I was only talking. I told myself Grant pushed me into needing comfort. Then I closed my eyes and let the buzzing in my pocket feel like proof that I still had options. The next afternoon, I drove to Sophie's school like everything was normal. The pickup line moved slow. Cars crept forward in a quiet line, like we were all pretending we had calm lives. Sophie climbed into the back seat and held her backpack tight. She asked why Dad looked sad this morning. I said Dad was tired and he worried too much. She asked if Dad was mad at me. I said no, and I forced a laugh like it was a silly question. She asked if we were still having pizza night. I said yes, of course, because I liked saying yes to the easy parts. When we got home, Grant was in the kitchen. He asked how school was. Sophie said it was fine and showed him a folded paper. Grant said he liked it and put it on the fridge with a magnet. He did small things like that, like he was trying to hold the house together with his hands. Grant asked if I could talk later, after Sophie went to bed. I said I had a lot of work. He asked if the work was real work or avoid him work. I told him that was unfair. I said he was making things up again. He said he was not making things up, and he asked me to just be honest. I felt my face heat. I did not want honesty. I wanted freedom without guilt. That evening, I went into our bedroom and shut the door. I texted Tessa and told her I needed a break. Tessa replied that I should do what I had to do and stop letting Grant act like my boss. She said if I needed a place to sleep, I could say I was at her apartment. I liked that. I liked a clean cover. Then I opened Nolan's chat. I told him I was overwhelmed and I needed quiet. He replied fast and said I could come over and just breathe. He said I did not have to explain. That line hit me like warmth. I did not even notice I was smiling until my cheeks hurt. Grant knocked softly and asked if everything was okay. I said I was fine. He asked if I was coming out for dinner. I said I had no appetite. He asked if I wanted tea. I said no. I made my voice flat on purpose, like I was teaching him not to ask. After Sophie went to bed, Grant asked if we could talk now. I said I was going for a drive to clear my head. He asked where I was going. I said I did not know, and I said that was the point. He asked if I could at least tell him when I would be back. I said he was trying to control me again. He said he was not trying to control me, and he said he just wanted to know I was safe. I said I was not a child. I said I would be back when I was back. I grabbed my keys and my phone and walked out. I did not look at him when I passed. I wanted him to feel my silence like a punishment. In the driveway, I opened my maps. Nolan's address was already saved from the cafe area because I had searched it earlier, just in case. The route popped up right away. It said I would arrive at 8:14 p.m. I stared at the screen for a second, like I was making a choice, but I had already chosen. My location sharing was still on. I saw Grant's name in the list under it. I told myself I was being open. I told myself he could not accuse me of hiding. I did not tell myself the truth, which was that I wanted him to see it. I wanted him to feel it. On the road, my phone buzzed once. It was Grant asking if I was okay. I did not answer. I wanted him to sit in that feeling. I wanted him to think, I might lose her. I wanted fear on his side, not mine. When I turned onto Nolan Street, the houses got closer together. The lights in windows looked warm and private. I parked and sat for a moment with both hands on the wheel. My heart was beating fast, but I told myself it was just stress leaving my body. Nolan opened the door before I even knocked. He asked if I was okay. I said I was fine, and I said it like I wanted him to believe it. He asked if Grant was being difficult. I said, Grant did not understand me. I said he made every feeling into a problem to solve. Nolan said I could sit on the couch and just rest. He asked if I wanted tea. I said yes. He put a mug in my hands and told me to breathe. I liked how he spoke to me, like my emotions were valuable. He asked if I wanted to talk about what happened. I said I did not even know where to start. I said, marriage felt like being watched all the time. I said I felt judged in my own house. Nolan nodded and said I deserved peace. I did not correct him. I let him build my excuse for me. My phone lit up. I saw a small notification that said, Grant viewed my location. It was not a message. It was just that silent check. I looked at it and felt a strange mix of pride and anger. I told myself it proved he was obsessed. I told myself it proved I was right to need space. Nolan asked if Grant was calling me. I said Grant was monitoring me, and I rolled my eyes like it was ridiculous. Nolan said that sounded unhealthy. He said I should take care of myself. I said I was trying. Later, Nolan asked if I wanted to sleep on the couch. I said yes, and I made it sound like I was strong for choosing the couch, like it was a moral choice. Nolan brought me a blanket and pointed to the bathroom. He asked if I needed anything else. I said no. I lay there staring at the ceiling. I listened to the house sounds. I told myself this was harmless. I told myself comfort was not cheating. I told myself Grant would learn that he could not push me and still keep me. At around 10:30 p.m., my phone buzzed again. Another location view. Still no text. Still no begging. I felt my stomach drop, and I hated that feeling. I wanted noise from him. I wanted anger, questions, a demand. His quiet made my choices look louder. I stood up and said I needed air. Nolan asked if I was okay to drive. I said yes. I walked out and drove to a gas station a few minutes away. The lights were harsh and white. I bought gum and water and paid with my card. The receipt printed with the time. I held it for a second like it was proof of something, even though I did not know what. Back at Nolan's place, I put the receipt in my wallet. I told myself it showed I was out, not hiding in a bed. I told myself that mattered. In the morning, I woke up stiff on the couch and checked my phone. Grant had sent one more message. He asked if I was coming home. I replied that I slept at Tessa's. I wrote it like a normal fact. I did not even feel bad as I typed it. I felt efficient. I drove back to my house in daylight. I practiced my face at red lights. I planned to act calm, like he was the one being dramatic. I planned to say I needed space and he should respect it. When I turned into our street and slowed near our driveway, I saw shapes near the garage door. At first I thought it was trash bags. Then I saw the wheels, the zippers, the familiar suitcase handles. My bags were lined up in a neat row, like someone had decided for me all at once. I sat in my car and stared at the suitcases by the garage door. They were mine. I knew every scratch on the hard case and every frayed strap. They were lined up like someone was moving me out without touching me. I walked up the driveway slow, like I owned the time. Grant opened the garage side door before I reached it. He did not look angry. That was the worst part. He looked calm, like he had already made peace. I asked what this was. He said he needed order for now. He said I could take my things and stay somewhere else until we could speak with respect. I asked if he was kicking me out. He said he was not forcing me, and he said I could stay if I told the truth about where I slept and stopped lying. He said he would not argue in circles anymore. I felt my face tighten. I wanted him to shout, because shouting would make him look bad. Calm made him look reasonable. I told him I slept at Tessa's. He asked for Tessa's address. I asked why he needed it. He said he wanted to know where his wife was. I said he was controlling. He said he did not want control, and he said he wanted clarity. I said clarity was just another word for control. Sophie came to the hallway in her socks. She asked why my suitcases were outside. I said it was a misunderstanding. Grant told Sophie that Mom and Dad were having grown-up problems, but both of us loved her. He said Sophie would still go to school, still have dinners, still have her routine. Sophie asked if I was leaving. I said no, and I smiled too wide. I followed Grant into the kitchen like I had the right to stand there, because I did. I asked why he did this while I was gone. He said he did it because he did not want chaos. He said he did not want a late-night fight in front of Sophie. He said he chose the morning and the daylight on purpose. He said he would not raise his voice. He said he would not scare our child. I wanted to say he was punishing me, but I could not make it sound true with his tone like that. So I did what I always did. I changed the frame. I said he was humiliating me. I said packing my bags was cruel. I said he wanted to show me he had power. Grant asked if I heard myself. He asked if I could listen to my own words and notice how they moved away from the one question he asked. He asked again where I slept. I told him he had no right to interrogate me. He said he was not interrogating. He said he was asking once. He said he would not ask 10 times. He said if I refused, then he would make choices to protect the home and Sophie's routine. I asked what choices. He said he would handle things properly. He said it in a flat, steady voice, like a door clicking shut. I called Tessa right in front of him. I told her Grant packed my bags like I was trash. Tessa asked if I was safe. I said yes, but I said it like a complaint. Tessa told me to come over and not let him scare me. I looked at Grant while she said that, because I wanted him to feel accused. He just nodded once, like he accepted that I would leave. I packed a few extra things into a tote, even though my bags were already packed. That was my pride. I wanted to choose something myself. I walked out and put the tote in my car. I did not take all the suitcases yet. Part of me wanted to leave them there as a message, like he had to sit with them. I told myself that was smart. Really, it was childish. Before I drove away, I took a photo of the suitcases lined up by the garage. I did not post it yet. I wanted the right moment. I wanted witnesses. At Tessa's apartment, she acted like I arrived from a disaster. She asked what Grant said. I told her the worst version. I said he demanded addresses and asked for proof. I said he was acting like a police officer. Tessa said that was not love. She said I should not let him rewrite my life. My mum, Jan, called later. Tessa had already told her. Jan asked why Grant would pack my bags. I said he was insecure and jealous. I said he could not handle that I had friends and a life. Jan asked if I went to Nolan's. My throat tightened for a second. I said no, and I said it fast. I said I was at Tessa's like I told Grant. Jan said I needed to be careful because people talk. She said I should look like the victim, not the messy one. I understood what she meant. Image first. 2 nights later, we had a family dinner at a restaurant. It was a long table in the back, with warm lights and too many eyes. Grant came because Sophie wanted both parents there. I told myself that proved he still needed me. I told myself he did not have the spine to make real boundaries. I was wrong, but I did not know it yet. Tessa sat beside me like a guard. Jan sat across from Grant and watched him like he was on trial. Grant's mother, Linda, came too. She sat straight, hands folded, like she was in a waiting room. Grant's father, Ray, sat beside her and barely spoke. As soon as drinks came, Jan asked Grant why he packed my bags. I started talking before he could answer. I said I needed comfort and space, and he punished me for it. I said he wanted to control me. I said he tried to make me homeless for one night of peace. I made my voice shake on purpose. Grant listened without interrupting. That made me mad, because it made me sound like the dramatic one. So I pushed harder. I said he had been distant for months. I said he treated me like a problem. I said he watched me with suspicion, like I was a stranger. I said any woman would need comfort. I did not say I chose the comfort. I made it sound like it happened to me. Linda asked where I slept that night. I laughed like the question was rude. I said I stayed with Tessa, and I said it loud. Tessa nodded fast, too fast. Ray looked down at his plate like he did not want to be there. Grant finally spoke. He said he would not discuss private details at dinner. He said Sophie was present, and he said he would not turn her into a witness. He said if anyone wanted to talk, they could talk later in private. He said he would not fight in public. Jan said he was avoiding accountability. I said he was cold. I said he enjoyed hurting me. Grant looked at Sophie and asked if she wanted dessert. Sophie nodded slowly and did not look at me. When dessert came, Sophie asked if we were still a family. The table went quiet. I said yes right away. Grant said Sophie would always have 2 parents who loved her, and he said the adults were figuring out the next steps. That word, steps, made me feel like he was moving without me. After dinner, I drove to the supermarket because I wanted something normal to hold on to. The store lights made everything feel flat. In the checkout line, I saw Grant 2 lanes over. He had a basket with basics: bread, fruit, toothpaste, dish soap. Nothing for me. He paid with his own card and took the receipt. He did not look over. He did not wave. He did not try to talk. I waited for a sting of guilt, but what I felt was rage. I told myself he was doing it to punish me. I told myself he was making a show of being the good parent. I told myself I had to act before he made me the villain for real. As I walked to my car, I opened my phone and stared at the photo of my bags by the garage. My thumb hovered over post, and my heart felt steady in a way that scared me. The photo of the suitcases sat in my camera roll like a loaded sentence. I did not post it that night. I told myself I was being strategic. I told myself timing mattered. Really, I wanted the biggest reaction, and I wanted it on my terms. I stayed at Tessa's apartment for 3 more nights. Her place smelled like hairspray and scented candles. She kept the TV on too loud, like noise could cover consequences. She asked if Grant called me. I said he barely did. I said he was giving me the silent treatment. Tessa said he was trying to break me. She said I should not let him. I acted like I agreed, but inside I felt something else. If Grant was silent, then I could not fight him. If I could not fight him, then I could not win. I needed him to chase me so I could deny him. In the morning, I went to work and tried to look normal. I walked into the office with my shoulders back, like I was strong. I told people I was staying with my sister because my husband needed space. I made it sound like his weakness, not my choice. Paula asked how things were going. I said Grant packed my bags like I was a stranger. I said it was cruel. Paula asked where I slept that first night. I said Tessa's. Paula nodded, but she did not smile. She asked why Grant would pack bags if I was just at Tessa's. I said he was dramatic. Paula said maybe he was scared. I did not like her saying that. It made him human. At lunch, I sat in my car and opened Nolan's chat. Nolan asked if I was okay. I said I was being treated unfairly. He said I deserved to feel safe. He said if I ever needed a quiet place again, his couch was there. I stared at the word again for too long. I told myself it was still just comfort. Then I opened my location sharing settings again. Grant still had access. I kept it on. I told myself it was proof I was not hiding. I also told myself it was bait. I wanted him to look. I wanted him to feel nervous. That evening, I drove past my house. I did not pull in. I just slowed near the driveway, like I was checking if the suitcases were still there. They were gone. That should have made me relieved, but it made me feel erased. He had moved my things without me. He had finished the action. I called Grant. He answered on the second ring. He asked what I needed. His voice was steady and flat. It did not sound like a man begging. I asked where my bags were. He said he put them inside by the front closet, organized, because rain was coming. I asked why he was acting like he owned the house. He said the house was still both of ours, but he was keeping it calm for Sophie. I asked if I could come home. He asked if I was ready to be honest and respectful. I said I was always respectful. He did not argue with that lie. He just paused. I asked if he was telling people about me. He said he was not discussing our marriage with friends. He said he was keeping things private. That made me angry. I wanted him to spread a messy story so I could call him abusive and win sympathy. His privacy cut off my weapon. I drove to the gym parking lot near his usual time. It was petty, but I told myself it was checking in. I watched his car from 2 rows away. He sat inside with his phone, not moving. I saw the glow of a screen and the shape of columns, like a spreadsheet. He typed, stopped, then typed again. When he finally got out, he did not look around like he was hiding. He just walked in like a person with a plan. I went home that night to Tessa's and told her Grant was acting strange. I said he was plotting. Tessa said I should post the suitcase photo before he made me look bad. She said people needed to see what he did. She said the first story always wins. I posted it the next morning. I wrote a caption about being thrown out and needing basic respect. I did not use big words. I used soft words that sounded reasonable. I added a sad face emoji. I let the picture do the violence. Comments came fast. People said Grant was a monster. People asked if I was safe. People told me to leave him. My mom shared it with a message that said I deserved better. Tessa wrote a comment about control and emotional abuse. I liked seeing the words, even if they were not true. Grant did not comment. He did not call. He did not message to argue. The silence was loud. That afternoon, I went to my house to pick up more clothes for work. I said I needed professional outfits. I also wanted to see him, because I wanted to read his face and feel like I still mattered. Grant opened the door but did not step aside right away. He asked what I needed. I said clothes. He said he would get them. I tried to walk past him. He shifted his body slightly, not touching me, just blocking the hallway like a firm line. I asked if he was seriously stopping me. He said he was setting boundaries. He said Sophie was doing homework in the living room, and he did not want tension around her. He asked me to wait by the door and keep my voice low. I hated that he sounded like a calm manager. I stood there and watched him walk toward the bedroom. The house smelled like laundry soap. It smelled like he had cleaned. That made my chest tighten. Cleaning meant he could function without me. While I waited, I noticed the office door was shut. I heard a soft sound from inside, like paper moving. Then I heard a low hum, like a shredder. I stared at the door and felt my skin prickle. I told myself he was shredding my life. I told myself he was covering his tracks. I did not even know what tracks. Grant came back with a stack of folded clothes. He handed them to me without touching my hands. I asked what he was doing in the office. He said he was organizing household paperwork. I asked why now. He said because chaos was expensive, and he was done with chaos. I looked past him and saw a shelf through the half-open office door. There were folders with plain labels. One said utilities, one said bank, one said household. He had never labeled things like that before. It looked like a file system, clean and cold. I asked if he was planning something. He looked at me for a long moment, then glanced toward the living room where Sophie sat. He lowered his voice and asked again where I slept on the night I left. I said Tessa's. He asked if that was true. I said yes. He asked if I would say it in front of Tessa and my mom. I said I did not have to prove myself. Grant's jaw moved slightly, like he was swallowing words. Then he said he was not going to fight with me anymore. He said he would handle it properly. He said it with no anger. It was worse than anger. I laughed like he was bluffing. I told him he was being dramatic. He did not reply. He only opened the door for me and waited until I walked out. On my way to the car, my phone buzzed with a notification. It was a cloud sync message. File uploaded successfully. I did not know whose phone it was from because it flashed on my screen from a shared family device, setting we used for photos. I stared at it, and my stomach went cold. I sat in my car and looked back at the house. Grant was in the doorway, not waving, not pleading, just watching until I drove away. I went back to work like my post had fixed everything. I wore my best blouse and kept my chin up. I told myself people would see me as brave. I told myself Grant would panic and reach out. Around midday, my manager asked me to come down to the main lobby for a quick check-in. I thought it was about the post. I thought it was HR drama. I walked to the office tower lobby with my phone in my hand, ready to cry if I needed to. Grant was already there. He stood near the wall by the plants, calm and still. He was not blocking my path. He was not yelling. He looked like someone waiting for a bus, not a husband in a crisis. That made me feel small. I asked why he was there. He said he was there because things had to be clear now. I said he was trying to embarrass me at my job. He said he did not choose the place, and he said the process was not about embarrassment. A woman I did not know walked up with a folder. She asked my name. I said it. She asked if I was Miriam Rooth. I said yes. She handed me an envelope and said I had been served. My hands shook when I opened it. The first page had my name and Grant's name. It said it was a divorce filing. Under that were temporary orders. I read and felt my face go hot. It said Grant would have temporary use of the home for now, and I could not enter without a planned time. It said there would be a set parenting schedule. It said we would communicate only about Sophie, and only by email or a parenting app. It said neither of us could move money around in a way that broke the rules. I looked up and tried to speak. I said this was too much. I said it was a misunderstanding. I said I only needed comfort. I said he was overreacting because he was jealous. Grant asked me to keep my voice down. He said we were in public. He said he would not argue. He said I could read the pages and follow the instructions. He said if I wanted to talk, it would be in writing and only about Sophie. I flipped deeper into the packet. I saw a list of exhibits. I saw references to location records and timestamps. I saw printed screenshots of my message thread with Nolan, with dates and short lines. I saw my suitcase post included with the posting time. I saw a note about witnesses at the family dinner and the rooftop bar. I said he was spying on me. He said he used the tools we both agreed to use. He said he saved what was public and what was shared with him. He said he did not break any laws. He said he did not need to. I tried crying. I said he was ruining my life. He said he was protecting his life and Sophie's routine. Right after that, I went to the bank because I needed air and I needed control. I asked the teller why my card was not working. She checked the screen and said the account had new restrictions. She said it was temporary and tied to formal instructions. She said she could not change it for me. I walked out with my throat tight and the papers pressed to my chest. At the school pickup line, I told myself I would at least take Sophie home and talk to her. I stepped forward when her class came out. The front desk staff stopped me gently and asked if I had seen the updated schedule notice. I said no. She said today was Grant's day, and she had to follow the written plan. Grant arrived calm and nodded at the staff. Sophie walked to him with her backpack, then looked back at me like she was trying to understand who chose this. I stood there holding the envelope while Grant buckled Sophie into his car without looking at me.